The phone buzzed once, then died. I stared at the message that had appeared like a crack in glass. Going to the beach house with some friends. Don't wait up. No name. No punctuation. Just enough cowardice to be polite. My wife had always written like that when she was lying. Too simple, too clean. I could almost hear her whispering it through a smile, the kind she practiced in mirrors. The beach house, our beach house, the same one I built with my father's hands before the sickness took him. The same one she said felt too isolated. Now she was taking him there. I'd already warned her. If you go there with him, we're done. She laughed then, soft and disbelieving. But that was 2 weeks ago. By the time her message arrived, I was already on the road, and I wasn't going alone. The plan had formed itself, slow and surgical. I didn't need rage. Rage is messy. Rage leaves fingerprints. Instead, I called someone else, his wife. She sounded like someone who'd forgotten how to breathe. I didn't need to explain much. Just one sentence. Your husband and my wife are going to the coast this weekend. Silence. Then the faintest inhale, the sound of something inside her cracking. When I invited her to come along, she didn't ask why. She only said, "Where do we meet?" We drove separately. She brought the kids, 2 small faces confused by the trip, clutching juice boxes and questions. I brought the keys. The house sat at the edge of the ocean like a secret buried too long. The tide was coming in, dragging seaweed and debris across the sand. Inside, everything was just as I'd left it. Our wedding photo on the mantel, her perfume still clinging to the air. I poured myself a drink and waited. Hours passed. The sound of waves blended with the hum of tires on gravel. Headlights swept across the window. She stepped out first, his shadow following close behind. Her laughter carried across the wind, high, nervous, false. I didn't move. Let them walk into the trap they built themselves. Before that night, I'd spent weeks collecting truth the way others collect souvenirs. Phone records, deleted messages, hotel invoices. It was all there, a pattern of stolen time stitched into the quiet hours when I was working late, when she said she was visiting her sister. I knew every lie she'd told before she even told it. I'd watched her body change, her attention sharper when she dressed, her phone never leaving the table face down. Still, I played dumb. I kissed her goodbye each morning, watched her eyes flicker between guilt and performance. Even the night I told her, "If you go to our beach house with him, we're done," she smiled, because she thought I wouldn't act. She never understood the kind of man I was. Some men shout, some break things. I wait, and I prepare the stage. So when I told his wife to bring the kids, it wasn't cruelty, it was precision. She needed to see what kind of man she'd married. My wife needed to see what kind of man she'd betrayed. The front door creaked open. They froze. 2 faces illuminated by the dim light of the living room. Hers pale, his turning crimson. Behind me, the soft clatter of glass as his wife set down her drink. The children stood near the hallway, too young to understand, too old to forget. I didn't speak. I handed my wife a small folder. Printed photos, receipts, text logs. She didn't open it right away. Her hands trembled, eyes darting to the man beside her, her co-conspirator, her secret. He stepped forward, trying to speak, but I lifted a hand. "Don't," I said. The word hung heavy, final. She flipped through the folder, her face drained of color with each page, until she stopped at the photo of them in that same house 3 months ago. Different clothes, same sin. No one spoke. The only sound was the surf outside, endless, consuming. I could see it then, realization breaking through her composure like rot beneath paint. His wife was crying silently now, one hand gripping the back of a chair. It wasn't shouting, it wasn't violence. It was truth, pure and merciless. And that's always louder. I didn't need to say anything more. Instead, I reached for my phone and played the last message my wife had left me, the one from that morning. Going to the beach house with some friends. Don't wait up. Her own voice filled the room. Calm, dismissive, self-assured. Then I turned to his wife. You said he told you he was traveling for work? She nodded once. Then, I guess you both know the truth now. I handed her the house keys. It's yours for the night. Let the kids rest. I'll send a car in the morning. I walked past them all, past the silence, the tears, the desperate attempts at explanation. Outside, the ocean smelled colder, cleaner. As I reached my car, I heard her voice behind me, cracking through the night. Please, we can fix this. I didn't turn around. Some things aren't broken, they're revealed. 3 months later, Thanksgiving. My daughter-in-law called, shouting through the noise of family and cheap wine. If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes. I looked out over the terrace of my villa in Switzerland, snow falling against the glass. Enjoy, I said, and hung up. Minutes later, I posted a photo. The lake, still and perfect. The fire-lit room behind me. My phone buzzed 71 times before I turned it off. All of them calling. None of them mattering. Betrayal, I've learned, doesn't destroy you. It refines you. It burns away what was weak. What remains is something colder, cleaner, unforgiving.